Back to another episode of Captain Jack Spearo. We're gonna go spear some shit. Yeehaw!
If you want more of John, you can comment below. But that's John over there. We are doing a local mission. We got just 3 divers. We got Mike back there running the boat. He's gonna be in our little 23 today. And we got Spinny Dog, Spedguard,
Spencer Ledgard,
aka Spurgy, aka Fish Lover. Spencer lets more fish swim away than shoot them.
It wasn't big enough.
Yeah, it wasn't big enough. Oh, I didn't feel like it. It was so beautiful.
It was really like 70 pounds. I should have just let it fly.
Let those breeders swim.
But we're actually gonna go for wahoo. We got the flashers gonna be rocking. We're gonna do a little bit of chum with them, and then we're gonna do a float line. I got an inflatable float for wahoo. They're not gonna be like submerging floats. So it might, but it won't be too bad. So I can rock the inflatable. Got a little bungee with it, like a 20-foot bungee. And then we got the float line. And I'm just gonna attach it to the back of my gun just in case I can't get something up with the reel. I can just let the gun go. And I'm using my trusty Rob Allen. I'll go over that a little more when we go inside the water. But yeah, it's a beautiful day. It's cold, but we're gonna get after it. We'll see you guys out there on the water.
What you telling me?
I'll tell you what, boy. God damn,
You didn't know I was recording?
no, I didn't. This is gonna leak out and then we lose all his viewers.
too much leakage on this trip already.
Yeah, you did.
Welcome back underwater, everyone, and welcome to the voiceovers. If you're new to the channel, do me a favor, subscribe if you get some value from these videos or some entertainment. And I'm just going to give you a quick run through on the setup I'm doing right now. So I'm rocking the Rob Allen 120 roller, and a lot of people, when they're shooting wahoo, big pelagics, they're preferring the bigger guns, which definitely not opposed to, but I'm also a huge fan of shooting what you're comfortable with. So if you have a gun that's might be a little bit underpowered, if you're a crack shot with it, if you're really comfortable with it, I highly suggest using it, especially if you don't want to go through the hassle of spending, you know, a ton of money on a giant blue water cannon. So we start diving, and this is our first drift, just hopped in the water, and you'll see the setup I have. The main thing I want to do is I want to get some chum in the water. So I got some sardines. I'm kind of breaking them up, getting some pieces in the water, and the goal is to get little bait fish to come around and get fired up on the chum, and then that will bring the larger fish. But also we have a flasher set up, and the flashers that I use are those Mercury flashers, and I use them, I keep them kind of organized on one of these little buoys, and there's a ton of these things you can buy, but I always make sure I bring it whenever I'm doing drifts, or honestly every time I'm going out diving, because you never know what you're gonna decide to do or what you're gonna target. So here goes the first dive. I believe this is just like kind of a scouting mission, but you'll see all the chum kind of dropping down there, and whenever it gets down there, it's a good idea to just to make a drop, and the viz kind of starts to clear up once you get past like 10-15 feet. So at the surface you probably won't be able to make out anything really deep, but once you make a drop down just a little ways, that's when you'll be able to see some fish. And when I make the drop, I see a ton of speedos, and that's a really good sign, because that means if we get the chum rocking, then those guys will come around and they'll almost act as live flashers. And I've had it where speedos come around and they're going crazy on the chum, and big wahoo literally come up from the depth and check out what the commotion is. So that's a really good idea you can do. And you know, if you're just making drifts and bored and nothing else, you can always work the chum, try to get some smaller fish in to hopefully bring in the bigger ones. This is a prime example. You see all those speedos kind of blowing up, those little runners blowing up on the chum. That's exactly what you want, but kind of to a higher level. I've had it where they were just absolutely insane everywhere. It was almost hard to see through them. That's what you really want to have going on. You want to have a feeding frenzy, and then it will attract a lot of attention of some pelagic fish. So while we're doing these drifts, usually wahoo, you would see it from the surface coming into the chum or the flashers. But there's times whenever we're just really bored at the surface, sitting there breathing up, and I'll make a deeper drop. And this is one of those dives, so go ahead and hold your breath with me. You see the bull sharks are definitely around, so I want to make sure I'm very kind of cautious with my shot. If I want to shoot something, I want to make sure I stone it or spine it. I see a nice amberjack there. I was contemplating shooting it, but if I was only going to do it if he came up to me and gave me a point blank headshot, because just beyond it there's bull sharks down at the bottom. Once that gun goes off, those sharks are trained to just find out where that shot came from and expect a free meal. That's like the shark's mentality. But I make this drop, I look off into the distance, and I see an African pompano, and at this point the fish is way too far away, but I just keep descending and I keep doing a little bit of grunting, hoping that I can close the gap. On this fish, I want to make a good shot, so I really take my time and I'm going for the stone shot. And when I shot, I realized it was really high. Otherwise, I would have put a lot of pressure to rip this guy away from the sharks to the surface. But even still, without putting pressure on it, it tore off. Pretty bummed about that. But it's a high risk, high reward sort of deal if I'm going for stone shots only or really good headshots. And at that moment, I kind of thought that maybe it was my flapper my flopper that closed. So I was kind of just checking my gear. And it's always good, if you're just doing drifts, just to make sure your gear is solid. Alright.
Got it on here.
I'm still rocking the same gun, but I'm gonna take the floats off and we're gonna actually hit in a shallower area, hope for some mutton. We're gonna just shoot for dinner, and then we may hit some more wrecks and stuff later on, but we're just gonna change up gears. Get a little bored after doing drift after drift and not getting anything. Oh, and that AP, it happens. I think I just shot a little high. I should have taken my time and just put it dead on. Maybe more of a safe shot instead of trying to go for the stone shot. I shot a little high, so that's what happened. So, but we're gonna hit a new spot. See you guys in the water. Now that we're working in a shallower area, we're more pinpoint of where we want to drop. It's not just long drifts. It's whenever we see a little bit of structure, that's when we want to make a drop. Spencer wasn't familiar with the area, so he made a drop really early and went from the sand to the structure and had a killer shot on a beautiful mutton snapper. That was his shot right there. I know that he shot, the dive was kind of blown, but I was already halfway down, so I decided, shoot, I'm just going to go all the way down, and his fish looked like it might get hung up, so I want to go and help him out. I was going to go grab his fish, untangle it, unhook it if it was lodged somewhere, but you can see the fish was fine, so I want to go ahead and finish this dive out. I know a lot of commotions. You see all the soot or all the sand that just got kicked up. I know there was a lot of commotion, so I know that there could be a chance of mutton coming in. Exactly what I thought was going to happen happened. Here comes the mutton. I was contemplating shooting it. I wasn't sure about the size, but now I realize he's definitely big enough. Started to tail wag away, and I wanted to shoot before he turned and tail wagged because I was kind of towards the end of my dive, and landed a perfect spine shot right through the fish. Pretty stoked on this, especially since it's been a slow morning so far. As always, you guys want to make sure I spine the fish, but he's still alive. So I wanted to brain him, put him out of his misery completely. That way I don't have to worry about the fish scooting off the spear, kind of, coming back to life, because I have seen that where fish get spined and then they come back to life just enough to swim away. So just don't want to take any chances. Get this guy taken care of properly before I put him in the boat. And then also what I did was, the boat was a little far away, so I just went ahead, strung up my gun, left the fish on the string, and that way I can, make another drop, which I do, but I didn't see anything on the other drop. But yeah, you can always, if you're shooting smaller fish, this one's kind of pushing it.
Hold him up again.
Find him. He's all like contorted.
Yep, but he looks good.
Spencer got a nice one.
I saw it. Hey Spencer, let's see the fish. Let's see the fish. Hold him up. We want to see what you got. Look at that pretty puppy right there. That's a stud. Two nice fish. Get them together, boys. I want to see both of you. There you go. You're in the picture. Two on a dive. Look at that.
Sweet meat. Oh yeah, that was
and
awesome.
We're doing fine.
Both dropped at the same time. That was sick. Whew. Tired. All right, we're good. Spencer, tell us what happened, dude.
We made a lucky drop and just happened to get three of these guys laying up. Chose the biggest one. And
Don't lie, you snaked it from me.
I snaked from John.
And then I got my little medium. This guy is almost 20 inches, which shows how big that one is.
Little perspective.
That's
This
a big
was like
boy. Yeah, this guy, we got him on the ruler and look, he's like, yeah, he's 20.
Put it back up there.
Oh, this guy?
Yeah.
They just say the small one is 20.
So this one's probably what, like 28?
Yeah, probably. We have to get him on the ruler. Let's get him on the ruler.
30.
Yeah. All right, he's measured up here. He's
About 27.
almost 28. Yeah.
27 and a half.
Yeah, 27 and a half.
Good one. Good eat size, eh?
Yeah, dude.
Good fish.
That's funny. Let's get that guy on some ice. As I said before, this is the different type of dive in. You can see the bottom structure, and this is when I just make a blind drop. Obviously, I don't see fish per se from the surface. I might if it's big enough, but a smaller fish, they really blend in well with the sand. So once I see the structure, there could be a possibility of fish around there. So that's when I go in and make my drop. Like I love showing you guys all the kill shots that I get, but also I like showing you my misses because that's how I really think you can learn. On this one, I get almost towards the bottom. I'm kind of fixated on this mangrove, kind of taking my time looking around, and that shot, I guess I shot right under it, and those mangroves, those smaller mangroves, are really squirrely, and they can literally dodge shafts, and I kept trying to slow this clip down, and I couldn't see where I missed, but I guess it almost looked like he wrapped around my shaft, and I shot just under him. I guess I could have taken my time a little bit, but yeah, really weird shot, definitely a clean whiff, and yeah, I came up empty-handed on this drop. Here you go. Stingray with big Kobe on it. I'm just kidding. Now here's an epic dive of the day. And I let this is a long clip that I keep rolling, multiple dives on this clip, and I'll tell you why. So I make my first drop, doing the same thing as before, saw some structure, made a drop, was hoping there was something maybe tucked up along the edge of this beam, or something would be curious and come in towards me from the sand. I kind of hover above a little bit. I know I'm alone. My dive buddy's kind of a little bit away, so I'm not pushing myself by any means. And I'm kind of just hovering above. And at some point, when I turn around, start heading up to the surface, I didn't want to obviously go all the way down to the bottom, start kicking up sand and stuff. But as I went to the surface, you could see there was a nice mutton that came in. And at that point, I was like, oh crap, that mutton came in. And he literally was hanging out right under me. And I didn't really pop my head up. I just put my snorkel in. I didn't take my eyes off the fish. And it's really hard to see the fish from the surface, but I can make him out. So there's so I know he's a good sized mutton, probably the bigger one that I shot or I'm going to shoot of the day. But I take my time and I'm waiting to see if he either bolts or just hangs around, and that he's just kind of patrolling around, and he's kind of swimming up current a little bit, but not really in a hurry. So I just kind of hang out above him. I'm swimming sort of up current, and I'm just buying my time, recovering from that little dive I did before, and I decide to make a dive bomb on him. And that's about this point I'm like, okay, this fish is not spooked. I'm gonna take my chances. I'm gonna dive straight down on the top of him, and I'm gonna try to land a shot, maybe even shoot him on the fly. But what happens is honestly perfect. It doesn't happen all the time, but every once in a while it does. But I go down straight from the top down on him. and he kind of starts to veer away, going towards the other structure. And that's whenever I just coast down to him, extend my gun, he kind of turns to the side, and I land a very safe shot. But I really want to baby him because I was a little worried about the flopper on my shaft because of that AP earlier. So I haven't seen any sharks, haven't seen any predatory fish or any Goliaths or anything like that. So just wanted to baby him up to the surface. Didn't want to rip him up because that isn't the best shot. It was kind of a hole, you know, in the side of him. And I'll explain it more when I get on the boat of the shot placement and everything. But yeah, don't want to put too much pressure and just kind of work him up to the surface. Now, if there was a shark, then I would obviously horse him up, and it's either I lose the fish or I lose the fish and the spear to a shark. But you see that tear? It could have easily, that barb could have, or the flopper could have went down a little bit, and it popped right through the fish, and I lose the fish. But what I did was I ended up grabbing both sides of the spear, got a hold of the fish as soon as I could, hands in the gills, and then I go ahead and brain him and then bleed him as usual. Yeah, if you don't practice this, I highly suggest doing it. And I could tell the fish wasn't fully dead from that first brain job, but ended up sealing the deal and getting the fish.
Doug's got something here.
Yeah, Spencer ain't the only big mutton slayer.
Oh yeah, that is a big mutton right there. Put that baby up there so we can see it.
Yes.
Oh, that is a beauty right there, buddy.
Hey, I'm gonna flip
That is a nice one. Go ahead, flip him in.
There we go.
Nice fish right there. Look at that.
Woo!
Nice one.
That's an awesome one. Hell yeah. I made a drop, and I kind of like a halfway drop, and I came back up, and as I came up, I had the GoPro running the whole time. I looked back down, and this guy came in, and I was like, oh, that's a lost cause. But he kind of hung around, and I just was kicking. He was swimming up current, and I just was kicking slowly above him, and he wasn't really spooked. And I was like, you know what, screw it, I'm just gonna dive bomb him. And I went down, and I just started hauling ass towards him, and he kind of was giving me the tail wag. I got kind of leveled off with him, took a long shot, a safe shot, and I pierced him a little low, but it was like kind of mid-body, and well, not mid-body, like front section, but I hit him like right here. I was aiming right here, but I hit him like right here. Beautiful. Nice. This is like whole cooker size. This is money.
That's awesome, thank you.
Spencer, so what'd you see?
Dude, huge cubera, 60 pound. It was 3 huge muttons and like a monster cubera all on the sand.
And you came up with that.
I tried to shoot
Dude,
one.
that's a big sheep's head.
That's a huge.
Dude, that's a good little.
Was it clipped to you this whole time? I didn't see it.
Dude,
Dude, you don't know. I biffed it so hard with those muttons.
Oh, really? You missed?
I didn't shoot. I was waiting and I saw the cubera and I tried going to the cubera after.
Oh, you should have went for the muttons.
But-
You know those cuberas. You know, dude, you know.
Dude,
You would think he would know, you know? We've been diving long enough.
we can do that trip again, I guarantee
Whoa,
you.
be careful here.
It's unloaded. It's unloaded.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
Cocked.
No, this one's
No,
unloaded.
that's how the roller
It's the
is.
way it is. It's a
Oh,
roller.
okay, it's not cocked.
Dude, you don't
Yeah.
know the fucking cubera. That was like a Bahamas cubera.
Dang.
With the mutton, hanging out with the muttons too.
Oh, that's so sick. That is so sick.
All right, that's about it. We're going home with a few muttons, a beautiful sheep's head, but we're gonna make a quick stop. On our way in, we're gonna dive some shallows and try for some more sheep's head, so we don't just have that one. So we'll have maybe 2 different types of meals: one sheepy, one mutton. And yeah, we'll see you guys in the water, in the shallows. Love this kind of diving. Again, you guys, this is same thing, shallow diving, but a different type of diving. We're in some rubble. It is even shallower than before, but the viz is not that great. It's a little closer to shore, so it's a little churny, and so you have soot in the water, and you really can't even see anything from the surface, and fish will spook even if you can't see them, and they'll be able to see you from the surface. So we're making these blind drops, and I made a blind drop right there before, and on my way up I saw a sheep's head, and that's why you're buddy diving in this shallow stuff. Even though it's shallow, it's really good to buddy dive. So I saw the fish in the distance, and John was able to dive bomb it because he knew exactly where it was. He wasn't gonna go down there and try to find it. I pointed it out to him, and he takes his nice sweet time, lines up a shot. He was looking for more, but he landed a really solid headshot on this guy, and even more fish to add. So now we can do fish with we're gonna have a mutton meal as well as a sheep's head meal, but stay tuned for this cook up. You guys aren't gonna want to miss this. This is pretty epic.
Good shot, dude.
That's what we got. Aftermath.
Alright, look at that.
Open that big open quick.
Oh, coconut boy.
That's right, I'm back in business, baby.
Here we go. Here's a. You don't want to use that?
You are full of shit.
You don't want to use that knife?
No. I'm putting that one back in. That can flay them off.
You take over.
Oh.
You guys, now I'm back in my crib in my backyard, and I'm gonna cook this fish over an open fire. And I'm going to cheat getting this fire started with some propane blowtorch. Why is that so satisfying? So I'm gonna keep this meal simple and delicious, and this is all I got here. This is all the ingredients I got. I got a hosh posh of vegetables right here. Don't even think about it. Got some butter, and it's got a couple lemon wedges, and then I'm just gonna throw the filet on top, and I'm gonna season it with this. And this is a new seasoning. It's for their fish, like basically seafood in general. I've already tried it once, and it's freaking good. Let's see how it turns out. Ooh. So that's some quick and easy setup. Got the foil packet ready to rock and roll. Loaded it with that Dano seasoning. I'm gonna let this fire cook down just a little bit more. I might fuel it just a little bit, and then I'm gonna throw the foil packet on. So got this nice, beautiful mango tree that's in full bloom right now. See if I have any mangoes on it. I don't see any. There will be, I'm sure. But these things usually are loaded. Oh yeah, no mangoes yet. But they will start popping out. But I'm gonna hook you guys right here. I got these things crossways over here. I'm gonna kind of break down these coals a little bit. Might feed it with a little bit more stuff right here. And what I might do, might create like a little pouch area that'll have basically an area for the fish to sit. And I doubled up this. It's just gonna sit there, hopefully cook. And you'll start hearing it sizzle. But the good thing I like about the foil packet, because if you see my channel, you've seen some of the way I cook out. Sometimes I'll do it over an open fire or over an open flame. But with the fire, it does have some soot and some charcoal that kind of, not charcoal, but some soot and ash that flies around. So sometimes it gets on the fish, but this keeps the fish nice and clean, and also that packet retains moisture, so you don't really lose any of the moisture out of the fish if you're just doing fillets. Otherwise the fillets will turn out a little dry. But we're gonna let this guy sit here and we'll see what it looks like when it comes off. Woo, we are smoking. It's looking good. I can hear it sizzling in there. What are you doing? You want me to throw that? You want me to throw that? She can do that all day. Hey. You're a psycho. Yeah, we don't have to worry about that overcooking, so I'm just gonna let it sit there in the fire, in the flames. Oh, and you guys, I have a ton of fruit trees around my house, and let me know if you could tell me what fruit tree this is. And this is the fruit. It's about to drop. And then that's one that dropped earlier. It was too ripe. That's what it looks like, I guess. You know, pretty rotten. But yeah, let me know if you comment below if you can tell me what kind of fruit that is. I'd be surprised if you guys get it. Some of you might get close, but I'm looking for the exact name of the fruit. So let me know. All right, so I got a little present from my sister. It is this tiny little baggie. And since I'm gonna be outside eating, check this out. It is an awesome little foldable, oh whoops, I gotta unvelcro it. Little foldable stool that you can sit in, just sit around the campfire. How neat is that? So I get to just sit. I can either sit and just keep warm by the fire, or in this case, I'm actually gonna take a step back from the fire and I'm gonna eat my meal. So let's take this thing off the fire and see what it looks like. Moment of truth. Tiba. No. Ooh, baby. Ooh, baby. Look at that deliciousness. Ooh. I'm gonna get some of this. Oh my God, look at it, it just falls apart. Gotta get the veggies. Oh my. No wonder Tiba was trying to get in on this. Ooh. This looks good. Hey, you smell that? Don't even think about it. She was trying to get in on it. Moment of truth. I don't think it's gonna be bad. No. All right, just the fish right now. Tiba? Just the fish? That's not salty at all, and it tastes so good. Gotta watch the dog, make sure she don't get in on this. Everything is cooked so perfectly, and I put it on for quite some time. Now it's time to put some veggies with it. Now it's freaking good. Woo. It is hot. Man. Guys, this is so good. I gotta get into this food before Tiba tries to get too much of it. Yeah, up. Good girl. All right, but if you guys enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. If you're new, consider subscribing. Thank you guys for joining me on this adventure, and I will see you guys on the next one. Later.